Welcome home. Life has a way of pulling women away from themselves. So before we begin, pour a cup of tea, take a deep breath in, and let's return together. By the end of this conversation, I want every woman listening to this to know you are not broken beyond repair. You're not even late. You have not lost your worth. Now, you may have lost sight of yourself, but God has never lost sight of you. Hey, sis, I'm really glad that you decided to be here with me today. If this is your first time joining me, welcome to Rooted Vines. This is a place where women gather every Sunday to slow down, to breathe a little deeper, and to spend time with God and have honest conversations about what it means to return to ourselves. Not the version the world expects, but the version that God created from the beginning. So if you have a cup of tea, I hope you'll stay and sit with me a while. And if don't, that's okay too. But just stay a while, sis. There's a seat here for you at this table. Now, I want to ask you a question. Not one that you need to answer out loud, just one that might stay with you and tarry with you for a while. When did you stop being you, sis? Not yesterday and not last week or last month. I mean, really, when did you stop dreaming? When did you stop laughing until your stomach hurt? When did you stop asking yourself what you actually wanted? And when did your needs quietly move to the bottom of everybody's list? Maybe it happened when you became a wife. Maybe when you became a mother. Maybe when life demanded so much from you that surviving became more important than actually living. For some of us, it happened so slowly and gradually that we didn't even take notice. One responsibility became another. One sacrifice became another. And one year rolled into another. Until one morning, we looked in the mirror and we didn't recognize the woman that was looking back at us. I know that feeling because I lived that life. My story didn't begin when I was 50. It began much earlier, right? Began much earlier. I became a mother when I was 17 years old, you guys. 17. And when I look back now, I realized something that I couldn't see then, right? I wasn't becoming a woman. I was a little girl trying to imitate one. And y'all, that's a big difference. I didn't have the luxury of easing into adulthood. Life didn't ask me if I was ready. It simply handed me some responsibilities. And I carried them because I believed that was what strong women did. And the truth is, I didn't have a blueprint. I mean, my mom, she wasn't in my life because of addiction. And that addiction had taken her somewhere I couldn't follow. And my poor dad loved us. But his heartbreak had changed him in ways that made it hard for him to be fully present for us. So I didn't grow up watching Healthy Motherhood. I was trying to create something I had never experienced for myself. I was trying to become someone no one had ever shown me how to be. And y'all, the next year, I ended up having twins. When I look back at that young girl, I wish I could just wrap my arms around her and say, it's going to be okay, baby. Because underneath all the responsibilities, she was just looking for someone to tell her she was safe and that it was going to be okay. She thought maybe if she built the family she never had, the emptiness would just suddenly disappear. She thought love would heal that childhood trauma. But pain doesn't disappear so simply just because life gets busy. Sometimes, you guys, it hides. Sometimes it waits patiently beneath the surface as we keep checking off the to-do list. And sis, that's exactly how I did. I became busy, very busy. I worked, I took care of the children, I solved the problems. People would say I was in my masculinity, right? I handled the responsibilities. I became the person everyone could depend on. And people praised me for being strong. But strength can become a disguise. Sometimes what the world calls strength, God calls survival. And survival isn't the same thing as living. And I wonder how many of you listening today know exactly what I'm talking about. You're that dependable one. You're that strong one. The one everyone calls first. The one who fixes all the things. The one who carries everyone else's burden. But when was the last time someone called and checked on you? When was the last time they asked how you was doing? I want you to think about that, because I think some women have become so good at surviving that they've forgotten what it feels like to be loved. Not because of what you do, not because of how much you sacrifice, not because of how much you give of yourself, but simply because you are the daughters of the Most High God. And somewhere along the way, many of us started believing that our value came from exhaustion. If we were tired enough, we must be doing something right. Come on, y'all, sis. If everyone needed us, we must be doing important work. If we sacrificed everything, surely God would be pleased. But I don't believe God ever asked women to disappear in order to prove their worth. And sis, I think that's where this conversation will begin.